Peace, family. Sister Ajali and Dr. Z here. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm right there. Greetings, brother warrior status and Ogun Balak and
Peace,
brother
peace,
San and all is good and brother Neo Beta Alpha 22.
peace,
Good to
peace.
see you. So let me go on over here so we can see the
My
subject.
man, Iron Mike. That's Iron Mike
Yes.
Tyson. Well, I think we spoke about this actually before when we came, on the way back home to do something. Maybe we was down or whatever on our trip.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about doing something about Mike Tyson because he's such an intriguing. To me, he's more intriguing now than he ever was as a boxer. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Because
That's
you
true.
exactly because you see the result of a life lived. You know what I'm saying? But not the end
Right.
of a life, but the results of a cumulative experience that we all have. These cumulative experiences that change us, that
Mm.
develop us. Correct?
Mm.
That's called growing up. So if I look at you
Mm.
at 20 and you the same at 40 and you tame at 60, that's somebody that has never grown and developed.
That's
You
deep.
shouldn't be
That's
the same
right.
person. All
Yeah.
right. Life should have changed you and taught you.
Mm.
All right. So when I saw this, actually, I was watching the documentary called The Fall of the Champ, and it talked about Mike Tyson's history. I never really studied too much of his history. I knew about, his training with Custom Art. I knew some things about him,
Mm-hmm.
but this was much more detailed about, some of the things he experienced, the trials and travails of Mike Tyson. And I found it intriguing because, I had been watching Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson and laughing my ass off at this show
I
Mike
have to
Tyson does
say,
called Hot Boxing. This shit is hysterical. You know what I mean?
I
So
hear you, and I'm like, that's Mike Tyson? Because I had a presumption that
Mhm.
was fanned by the media
Yeah.
and also fanned by his misadventures when he was young,
Yes.
that he was pretty mindless. So I'm listening. I'm like, that brother's actually intelligent.
Yeah, the man is brilliant. He was brilliant in the ring. So in other words, if you can grasp
Mm.
this the sweet science as they call it, the science of boxing, using intensity, using movement, using thinking,
Right.
using intimidation, you know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
using these traits in the ring,
That is
talent,
right.
balance, skill, all right?
Mm.
Predictions, you know what I'm saying? You're studying your opponent.
Right.
Just this is not for dumb people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a very analytical sport.
Mm.
Really.
It
You
used
know what
to
I'm
be
saying?
the gentleman's
Now,
sport.
exactly, the gentleman. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So you got but the thing with Mike Tyson, his boxing style was always equated with fearsomeness and intimidation, and he scared nigga before they get in the ring, nigga fall out. Before he shake hand, nigga get a knockout. You know what I'm saying? That's
Uh-huh.
how Mike Tyson was. I mean, because he was a force of nature. Remember, this was the 1980s. He came up in like 85, 86, 87. We're about the same age. So
Right.
I was seeing all of this and watching this, you know what I mean, from his rise all the way to him biting Evander Holyfield's ear off.
Oh
Like, what
my
the hell?
God, I
I remember
know.
watching that. Like, we had the family over. We was doing, we was at the house. I had my friends over, him and his girlfriend. We up there watching this fight. This nigga bite Evander Holyfield ear off. Literally, like, yo,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's almost like
Yeah.
you see his rise, and that was the beginning of his fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because everybody's like, this, he's mental.
Yeah, he
He's
is mental. He was
is.
mental from the jump. That's the point he's trying to. I've been mental.
Right.
I had to be mental to get into this ring.
Right.
I was mental because I grew up in Brownsville and I was poor and I was homeless and I was broke.
Poor. He was
Know what I'm saying?
Because I was poor, but I wasn't as poor as he was.
Exactly. I'm living in abandoned buildings with my mother and my brothers.
Right.
He had a brother and sister. I think at least he had one brother and a brother. I believe he had two siblings. Yeah, I didn't know how he grew up.
Mm.
But I was poor too, so I wasn't thinking you in Brownsville, you poor. I'm poor in Bed-Stuy, big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't, but I was in the projects. Projects different.
Yeah, I was in the projects too. I was in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Yeah,
so
projects
there
are
you go.
different. You know what I'm saying? Projects are different, believe it or not, especially back then in the 70s and the 80s. You know what I mean? They got wild like 85, 86, 87.
We were gone.
They got wild by then, but I'm just saying projects were different. I mean, you in my project, you had to have a mother and a father to even qualify to live in the house in order to get into the building.
Oh yeah, that's
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So not that not that the father stayed around long after that.
And that happened
but
a
they
lot
got
of
in.
times.
But the key is Mike just grew up a little different. And as any young black man in these situations, you are enraged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't have quote unquote knowledge of self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He run these streets with these boys. And I don't know if you know, like I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brownsville different.
Oh,
different parts of the cities are different. There's different, like I was trying to say, it's different levels of poor. There's different parts of growing up. See, growing up in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy, I lived across the street from a train station, so I got to see more of the city.
So
easily, you know what I'm saying? So I got to. I was traveling young and stuff like that.
Right.
Some cats deep in East New York, deep in Brownsville, they don't travel like that.
Go anywhere,
They know Pitkin Avenue, Hillside Avenue, Liberty Avenue. They know shit around them. They know where the train station's at. I think the 4 goes through over there. The train does go through there, but if you're not on that side, you might not never get on them. Your school's not. I went to school in Manhattan. I went to different. I was out of the city. I was in school in Manhattan. I was doing stuff like that growing up. Everybody didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
Most people I lived with, they lived in Brooklyn. They went to school in Brooklyn. They stayed local. They went to junior high school in Brooklyn. I didn't go to junior high school in Brooklyn. I was in Manhattan from 11, 12 years old. I was out. You know what I'm saying? I was still living there, but I was traveling. I was seeing the city. I was experiencing different things.
And it had quite a measurable effect on you.
It does have an impact.
Yeah, because when I met you, even though I could tell you just have that ease and that grace that comes from the hood, at the same time, you had a larger understanding. You had an expansive comprehension of what was going on around the world, which I found attractive. But
around New York City at that time.
Around New York City.
And that's when I was young, it was around New York City.
It's more encompassing.
I was comfortable in other environments.
Right, which is one of the reasons when I look, going back to Mike, when I looked at him as a brother, I saw him as that, provincial, like hood provincial, where that's all he was knew. And now I can understand what put him together, even though at the same time he has an extreme intelligence. He's a very intelligent man.
Absolutely.
And that for me is one of the things I want to highlight with his life story, is that he typifies what then is stereotyped against us. So we don't recognize our own authentic intelligence. And he, on top of that, he also has that voice. Which made it real difficult for him to be walking around sounding like he sounds. And he had to build up that type of brawn. But it's almost like he had no choice but to fight. It wasn't like he was, he just found out he could do it really well.
Absolutely. And that's why I recommend everybody watches it's a Hulu TV show called Mike. Just watch it.
It's good.
You'll enjoy it. It's well made. The production values is good. The acting is good. You know what I'm saying? The guy who plays Mike Tyson does a good job. He studied Mike. He got his mannerisms down and stuff like that.
Even though he doesn't look exactly like him, but
look like Mike Tyson.
Still, I know.
Exactly. But they got it they did a very good job.
Yeah. And
if you want an insight into the man's life, I think you should watch that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna enjoy it even if you don't like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's pretty. It was a pretty good. It was a good show compared to what all the crap they got on Hulu and on Netflix, all the garbage you see.
Yeah, and the directing was quite just inventive and unusual, because nowadays everything is pretty much cookie cutter. It was stylized in a way that made it surprising. And even though, because I'm all one for, serious black on black love, that wasn't the subject matter of the biopic pretty much. And there weren't, for me, enough portrayal. I'm like, didn't the brother had to know one black man, black woman couple, even if it was the elderly one that were together, but they focused on his mother and then Customato, but still it was gripping. It truly is a gripping show.
Well, it's based on he did a one-man show, I think in Ohio or something like that.
Right.
And that's what this teleplay is based on. Just that event, but then it's going to illustrate his life and stuff. But it's definitely worth the time. Even if you watch an episode a week or episode a day, or whatever like that, you ain't got the couch potato of the thing. But you might want to, because it's really that good.
It's that good.
You're going to want to watch it.
Yeah.
All right. But the key to me in studying the brother is that we, as I always say, we have to learn that black intelligence and white intelligence ain't going to be the same thing.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
The cultures are different. The people are different. We are going to express our intelligence different ways. All right. But our problem is that we don't know how to recognize black intelligence.
Mm.
Know what I'm saying? You know how to recognize white intelligence in black people. You know how to recognize white intelligence in black people. You know how to do that.
Right. Yeah. And you know, I credit that as the reason why it was easy for me to stereotype this brother as he was coming up, because I have it. Or first off, I didn't know I believed it, but they put out this narrative that when we are physically astounding, that somehow or another the melanin, it just stops at our necks and it doesn't have the same effect on our brains.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And so when I see our athletes, you make this, or I can't say everybody does, all right, but I made this automatic assumption that, oh, well, they're good physically, but mentally, not that I thought, oh, they got nothing on a white man. That would never go through my mind because I wasn't hateful towards us. But at the same time, you just give an automatic Negropean deference to the creators of civilization. Then you find out that no, they didn't create civilization, we did. And so there is a different expression of intelligence where our intellect is more based on connections, is more based on family. It's not based on showing off to others. Look what I got, look what I could build, which to me, when you think about it, that's not really intelligent.
Well,
that's not wise.
That's what it's been turned into. So that's why I want to talk about the brother, because his story is the story of a life that we can relate to. All right. Despite all his wealth and things like that, the fact that he lost a lot of money actually makes it more real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the
I
point
think
is that
helped him. Yeah.
The point is that despite of his wealth and the adoration he gets, you can see the development of a man. And we, as men, we should be able to see ourselves in that. All right. And glean some insight into ourselves from somebody else's struggles. Right. All right. If you can't learn from other people's struggles, then that means you're going to do a hell of a lot of struggling out here. You have to have the intellect, the vision to study other people's lives and to take that which you can extract of quality and utilize it to better yourself. All right. But the problem we have is we get into all this homoerotic freaking idol worship that the European got us on, this star worship, this idol worship. Oh, look what he got. Look at his car. Look at his coat. Look at his hat. Look at his shoes. Look at his woman. All that shit is homoerotic, man. You ain't supposed to be idolizing a man like that. All right? He's a man like you a man, right?
Right.
All right. Now, if you want to learn, if he can sit down and teach you something about how you can better yourself, then that's cool. But we don't just worship you because you got things. The hell is that about?
Right.
That's sick.
Right.
All right. That's sick. No, we want to see you have things. We don't want to see you broke. We want to see a human. We want to see the human being in there.
Well, when you have sequestering of worldly goods in one part of the village, it's no longer a village. It's not a working village.
It's a fiefdom.
So that's where the materialism is very blurring to what the relationship really should be. As you say, it should be a teaching.
Yes.
And you are going to be most open to learning from those who you know have a vested interest in your success. Somebody who's just going to gain wealth for their own betterment and they're going to ignore everybody else's plight. That's someone who you secretly can't stand.
Well, that's the culture that we in. These are the people that are being idolized. Jay-Z, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, regardless of what he's doing. You know, just rich folk, Rihanna. I mean, come on. The people that are being idolized in the society are people with quote unquote wealth,
right,
that have secured this bag for themselves. All right. And you need the bag. You need the money to maintain a lifestyle to provide for yourself and your families. All right.
Right.
But the problem is that quiet is kept. There's a finite amount of wealth out here. All right. So me hoarding the masses is going to leave somebody ass out.
Right.
Like, that's how it works.
Right.
Hate to tell you that. Me hoarding all this money is going to leave some money. Yes, the Federal Reserve can print money at the whim, but they're not distributing it to everybody.
And
that money, the Federal Reserve money, goes to the banks. It don't go to you. All right?
Right. Right.
Federal Reserve money don't go to the people of the United States of America. It goes to the banks. All right? So you can go there and ask for some, and you might get some, but you ain't going to get billions. You ain't going to get an outlay like the robber barons got, the train barons, no, the steel barons. All right?
And
the farmers, the agri farmers, Monsanto, you ain't getting money like that.
And I love what you said about that wealth is finite.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's really taken into account the fact that there's only so many people alive at any given moment. There's only so much land on the entire planet, period.
Exactly.
And we lose tracks of it regularly. So there's only so many goods that can be produced at any particular time. So yes, these things are finite. And if you have a group of people who have created a culture of merciless avarice where they accumulate and it's become just part of the society's accepted doctrine, you can get as much as you want and you don't have to think about the consequences of what you're doing. And then that leads when people look around and they're like, oh my goodness, everything's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so depressed. Well, you know what? That's a huge part of it.
Like they say, it takes a pillage.
It takes a village.
It takes a pillage to build this wealth. All right. And they are great. They are mass pillagers. They're mass pillagers. All right. And they'll spend $7, $10, $20 of your money to make $1 for themselves. All right. Literally. All right. So in other words, your money is the money that they will be accessing from your government. Because the government is giving money away all left and right. The corporations, corporate welfare is crazy.
It's crazy.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The government is giving weapons. You call it a military. They're using this military to go to different parts of the world and secure resources for corporations. All right. That's what your military is for. Read Major General Smedley Darlington, War is a Racket. Read that little book. All right. So in other words, there's a whole mechanism going on here to secure wealth, real estate, all right, resources for a small amount of people.
Right.
Now, we ain't really mean to get into all of this, but
it's part of
I'm relating it to this idolization of rich people with money. That's my point. That's what I'm relating to. Idolatry. We got this idolatrous mindset because we grew up under the KV. And they have an idolatrous mindset. They think you're a better person because you have money. Right. He has money. He must be a better person.
And
he has a boat. He must be. He owns real estate on Maui. He must be a better person. Right. You know what I'm saying? You think Bill Gates is better? White people think Bill Gates is better than them because he has money. They think Elon Musk is a saint because he has money. He must be something special, intelligent about him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not that like I said, the point I'm trying to make is we have to come out of that and start analyzing people as people. All right. So then we can get a clear idea of what anybody is and who a person is.
Right.
You want to look at your character, look at your actions, blah, blah, blah. Things like that. We have to humanize people.
And also on a personal level, as you're saying with Mike, your ability to repair yourself or to grow from your experiences. Because I wouldn't look at him as, a great spiritual savior of any sort.
No.
But at the same time, when I think about all the heavyweight boxing champions, he's not my favorite boxer, but as a person out of that category, he is my favorite boxer. Simply because he grew. Even though I love Muhammad Ali, towards the end, they just had him. I also because he was suffering from the punch drunk Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Yeah. And so they talked him into, like being proud to be Irish, all sorts of silly stuff. And then you got, who's the one who's out there now with the M? I can't stand him, so I can't even remember his name.
Floyd Mayweather?
Mayweather.
Oh, like Money Mayweather?
God, he's so pathetic. Oh, he's pitiful. So yes, out of all of them, Mike Tyson's the one that I actually admire and respect.
Well, like I tell you, he's learned to embrace his frailty. That's why. He's cool with it. When you're cool with you being yourself, that's when you have peace. See, most people are not cool with being themselves, so they can never have peace. They're insecure about being themselves.
Right.
So to become a whole man, you got to be cool with your whole self. That means your limitations too. All right. So you got limitations, you got actual limitations versus other things that you're not limited by. You're not limited in your thinking, but you're limited in your height. You're only going to grow a certain height. All right.
Right.
Your arms are going to be a certain length long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't carry but so much in your hands. You know what I mean? These are limitations. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be fussing around worrying about your your actual real limitations that you have.
Right.
When you got this whole mind that you can use to give you ease and support and change your reality with.
Right.
All right. So that's what I see in a brother. But if you watch the show, you'll go through his whole life. You'll see his things he did right, things he did wrong. Most of the stuff he did was wrong. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
The man was crazy. Mike Tyson knew he was crazy.
Mm.
He's crazy as hell. He was not. He was drunk, money drunk,
Woman drunk.
woman drunk. He was just a slave to his urges.
Right.
Let's keep it real. Only because we, being idolaters, supported every goddamn thing he did.
Right.
Looked up to him for whatever he did. No matter what I do, I squeeze your ass. We good. Hey, we good. You want to come home with me? You know what I'm saying?
They got this floating around in, I forget, Red Pill, whatever the heck. But where they say you cannot, no man should ever question the actions of another man, even if he's like doing complete wrong. It's like, what?
So what? You're not going to have courts in your society?
Right.
You're not going to have laws in your society?
Right.
You're not going to have rules and regulations? That's some anarchist bullshit that these guys who don't want to submit to nobody come up with. You know what I'm saying? That's all like anarchist philosophy, because they don't want no government. They don't want no rules and regulations for themselves. So you can't question what a man. Hell yeah, you can question what a man does. You know what I'm saying? Your children question what you do.
Right.
Your woman question what you do.
Right.
Your mother, your sisters and brothers, they question. They don't mean they're going to get a response from you, but they question. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's natural and that's okay.
That's good, actually.
All right?
As long as they're
Because
respectful.
who's going to check a man but a man? Who else can check a man? So you want to be unchecked? That's you trying to say? You want this unchecked reality? That's what got Mike jacked up.
Right, because that money that brings that. Nobody wants to bring anything to you.
Unchecked reality. Nobody could check him.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He had to be so unhinged, uncrazy. He had to end up checking himself right into the prison.
Right.
All right. That part of that is in the episode too. Because when I reflect upon the hold on before go to the website right quick.
Okay, let me go.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm gonna get back to that point. We're gonna talk about Desiree Washington.
Let me come over and make sure you're there, family. Yeah, you're so there. Oh, Sister Gwen, so good to see you.
Peace, family.
Peace. Okay, let's go on over to the website.
We're gonna talk about how Mike got in jail in a minute. I want to do this first. Because today at 7:00, I'm going to have another class. I'm starting the classes back up. So if you scroll down some, you see the events. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Cannabis for Health tonight, 7:00 EST. So if you might go to the website and RSVP, sign up. We'll send you the Zoom link.
Yeah, you
because
just
it's today
go right over there
at 7:00. We're going to talk about the endocannabinoid system. Can you use cannabis for health? Can you use CBD for health?
I know I'm going to learn.
We're going to understand.
I know I am.
Are we still talking about reefers? Those is reefers.
Those some reefers you're talking about.
Yeah, damn
what
right.
What you doing in that room there?
Damn right. We're talking about reefers now. We're going to talk about some reefers.
Right.
All right? So sign up. That's today at 7:00. All right? So don't miss out. Because I ain't going to do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably
and then
not.
it's gone. And you never see
But
it.
it's going to be just something to think about. But just going back to Brother Mike. He got jammed up at a beauty contest in Cincinnati or something like that. Like, oh, God, why the man had to go to Ohio? I think it was Ohio, yeah. Why did the man have to go to Ohio? But anyway, he around this damn beauty contest like a goddamn like a butcher at a meat factory looking for some hogs to slaughter or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bunch of little teenage 18, 19-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's if you look at the video, if you look back in the days, it was like 1980 something. It's ridiculous.
I remember them days so well.
It's ridiculous how modest they were, even when
I know
bikinis.
I wish that day would come back.
It's ridiculous. You're looking at it like, oh my God, they thought they were being sexy like this. Yo, it's just weird. But I'm just looking at time now and how our styles and customs have changed and modesty for women.
Don't let it get worse because they're pushing for the orgies.
Worse.
That's
anyway,
for sure.
Anyway, he gets caught up with some young lady who's starstruck. All right. All of them were starstruck, basically.
How could you?
So if they're all starstruck and you pick one, then she's going to be the envy of the other ones. Come on, we know how this thing works. You know what I'm saying? So he got jammed up with her. She coming out 2:00 in the morning, jumping in the living with him, end up in his room. He ended up getting accused of rape, convicted of rape, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Mike got time to read. All right? Basically,
lots of time.
That's when he got time to start looking at inside of Mike.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Because sitting around prison, you're going to read, you're going to study, ain't nothing to do to exercise. I mean, yeah, you can exercise and stuff. Visitors ain't coming all the time.
But
you're in prison. Know what I'm saying?
And you can't exercise all day long.
No, you not want to. You might want to, but you can't. It's just not your body. You don't want to do that. Because the point is that the brother got time to be introspective because he had to stop.
Yeah.
All that lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? No more limousines with hot tubs and none of that crazy stuff.
I know with a bathtub in it. Oh my, or a pool.
You just got to be Mike. But the problem with this whole Desiree Washington thing is how all these Negroes came out capping for Mike Tyson. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
What they did to that sister was pathetic.
Yeah.
But these quote unquote Negro leaders came out talking about Desiree Washington like that. That shit was pathetic.
That was some of that.
You know
don't say anything bad. But it was.
But you got to understand, it's not only because of him, because Don King. See, I don't know what's going on. I think Don King got a lot of niggas in his pocket.
Yeah.
That you don't even know about. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Don been around a long time. He been dealing with a lot of money, a lot of fighters, a lot of different Nation of Islam, all the gangsters. Don King is wrapped up in all of that stuff. All right. So he must have been handing out a lot of money because all these damn ministers coming out,
I know,
talking about the virtues of Mike Tyson. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I have to say, you changed my mind on that because before that, I was of a firm conclusion that he got railroaded. But, you know, go watch the Hulu biopic so you could get the whole thing. They did a very nice job where they showcased it from the sister's vantage point. And kudos to her. Kudos to that sister. She's never written a tell-all book. She's never capitalized off of what happened to her, which lends true credibility to what she went through. And I remember being her age, and her very friends were like, "Oh, Mike Tyson, you gotta go. You're gonna meet all these famous people." My friends would have been saying the same thing if it had been a friend I knew. I would have been saying it.
18-year-old, dumb as hell. You dumb as a post. You dumb as a post. 18 years old.
Exactly.
Starstruck. You think these people are better than you. Literally. I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. That goes back to this idolatry I'm talking about.
Right.
It destroys your thinking process. You can't even see people properly.
And when I think about even the compromising positions I did put myself in, you know, I would have never been famous for it at all. But I look and I'm like, I'm lucky I walked away with my life. So, you know, I'm just also embracing the fact that I'm human too, and you make mistakes and you don't know that you're making them at the moment that you are. But does that mean that you should be taken advantage of in that situation? So it's a tough thing. Each person's going to have to make up their own mind.
It was sad. It was sad, man. When I seen Minister Farrakhan go out there talking about Desiree Washington like that, I was like, this.
And you were that way pathetic when it was happening.
This is pathetic.
Right.
Nah, he should just shut up. and stayed out of that one.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You don't go up in there disparaging the black woman to what?
Right.
To talk about she should have known not to go out with no. How did they 10-year? She's a little baby.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's no mercy for her making a mistake. But Mike is just an animal, so he can do what he want to do. She should have known Mike was just trying to smash.
Right.
She supposed to know all these things. So you saying Mike is just a beast, basically. And that's how they try to predict. That's the court case they try to. That's how he got locked up, because his lawyer was talking the same shit. They should have known Mike is just going to be trying to smash.
Oh, right.
He ain't got no control over things. Bro.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Stay out of that. All right? As a young man, I didn't really recognize it like that, because I really wasn't paying that much attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in retrospect, coming from the street, hell yeah, he would have took that.
Right.
He know that, how he operated back then. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No means yes.
Right.
No is just a short way of saying yes to some of these guys.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yes, you know what I'm saying?
And so in the courtroom, they're going to say, well, now we're going to show you that no means no.
Exactly.
Right.
But my point is that it can happen. And it has happened umpteen times to many people. All right? Getting caught up in these compromising positions, messing with these so-called celebrities, they just sluts. A lot of them celebrities, messing with them.
That's what I'm
getting jammed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because it comes so easy to them. Know what I'm saying? When women are throwing their panties at you all the time, just by you showing up, when one says no, it can be confusing to you.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
Must be an act. This must be part of her thing.
Right.
To tease me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo, I've been a young man. I understand this mentality. So I can't go up in there and dismiss reality just because he's a celebrity, and because somebody who I respect comes to defend him. Know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not going to be suspending reality because whoever show up. We have to be able to look at things with our own eyes and say, nah.
And that is discernment. And in this particular level where we have the media thoroughly controlled by people who at best want to just keep the lies going.
Yes.
Like William Casey said, that they're going to get to the American public to the point where everything they believe is a lie. That discernment is critical in order to be able to extricate yourself from the con men.
That's right.
Who will use your confidence
in
them. That's their confidence men. Yeah. And they're going to, like, I know this is something that we've gone back and forth over different personalities, but that whole thing where they'll say one or two good things, but then they're still pushing in the poison.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I'm not saying to throw them out altogether, but that discernment, we have to be careful.
If I've learned anything, is that you could pay a nigga to say anything. Let's keep it real. You could pay somebody to say anything with some favors. I mean, it ain't got to be outright the way you look at it. But anybody can say anything if there's something going to be in their benefit. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's just the way it works out here for the most part. And you got to remember, this man was a cash cow. Mike Tyson was a cash cow.
Oh, mad cash cow.
Cash cow.
Right.
All right. Ka-ching. He didn't even know how much. He didn't have no track. Mike didn't even know how much money he was making. That's right. He didn't know where his money was at.
Wow. And he still has his mega mansion. It's like with a freaking Bengal tiger.
It's like Leon. If you ever watched the movie Leon the Professional, and Danny Leo was like, I'm just holding this money for you. Don't worry. I know you got paid. Don't worry. I'm just holding money for you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to hold it for you. You know what I'm saying? He was doing all the work. But his agent was holding the money and giving him a little money to get around with. You know what I'm saying? But he said, I hold it for you because you don't understand America. And
right. I'll keep it safe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens, man. That's what happens. All right? I'm not saying that's exactly what happened to him, but a lot of people living off this man, and you don't want the money train to stop. All right? So all that Desiree Washington stuff look like to me, people fighting to keep the money train on the track. That's what it looked like to me. Right. Don King that was fighting to keep the money train on the track.
Yeah, because he almost had as much money as some.
He was big money, not just
GDP.
for Don King, but for boxing.
Oh,
it wasn't
and that's
just
a wider.
It wasn't just
echo.
Don King. It's boxing.
Wow.
He was sustaining that whole industry.
That's true.
All right,
that's true.
There was nobody quite like him at that time. I mean, you had Trevor Burbick and Larry Holmes. These guys are boring.
I know they really.
They were good
are.
fighters in the 70s and
Uh-huh.
early 80s, but come on.
Right.
Mike was young and intimidating.
Yeah. I even stopped
And
boxing
down.
after him.
You know what I'm saying?
I stopped watching boxing after he was
everybody
gone.
was boring.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, that's one thing in the movie. That's another thing I like about him. He consciously knows he's Black. He consciously admits it, whereas like all the folks came up were all Mayweather. They were all the boxers who win. Muhammad Ali was Cassius Clay.
Mm-hmm.
The white America just loved them.
Yeah.
And so I'm not interested in watching these milquetoast dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So with Mike, you got a sense of the hood with him. So and I'm not saying that's the only type of Blackness that there is. And then I want to acknowledge folks who grow up in other places, but at the same time, there's just like an intensification of that, like authenticity.
Yes, veracity. Somebody's telling the truth.
Right.
Like, this is really me. You know what I'm saying? That makes all the difference. Because in the street, all I got to go by is who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if I can know that you're going to be you, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Mike crazy today. Let's go the other way. We know how he on that. And then you mix drugs in the thing. You know Mike is gone. You know what I'm saying?
Get out.
He acting crazy today. We going the other way. Don't mess with him. Round on him. You on that shit today. Back up. All right? That's how you do it. And that's okay, because we know who you are.
Right.
So you never got the impression that you didn't know who he was.
Right.
All right. He never gave the impression that he was somebody not from Brownsville.
That's true.
He never gave the impression that he was going to be this now. He was never. He didn't put on airs like, yeah, he had things. He had a Rolls Royce before anybody had one. He had a whole bunch of shit before anybody had it. But you knew Mike Tyson was Brooklyn's own. Like, he's just always going to be that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't trying to, like a Dr. Africa would say that marrying the white woman is truly a homosexual act. Yeah. But there's other types, like, trying to just take in their culture so that you can, sniff the wine and do all of these things.
He did what we would have done if we'd have had money.
Just go, wow.
Not necessarily wild. I mean, he got the things we would have got, but that's our style. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He did the things we would have done. It's like, unfortunately, like if you look at the blaxploitation movies of the 50s, the 60s and the 70s, the late 60s and early 70s, you know what I'm saying? The pimps and the hustlers, they were doing things like we would have done them, or we would imagine that we would be doing those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Believe it or not, we were relating to them because they were still managed to keep their quote unquote veracity, they hood, you know what I'm saying? Their Blackness, but still go get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Without
so that's kind of like
generation.
That's kind of like what you see with the rappers now. You know what I'm saying? They still in the hood. You don't see them running around a bunch of white girls and shit like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But we can relate to them because they're like, if I got money, I'd have done the same shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Literally. So being relatable is important. You know what I mean? But I'm older, so maybe if I was younger, I'd be more. You relate more to maybe Money Mayweather, because they have a different mentality now.
It's been carefully indoctrinated.
Yeah, exactly. They have a different. They have a different understanding of quote unquote Blackness, all that stuff. If you were born in 1990, you got a whole different perspective on Blackness and all that stuff like that than somebody born in 1965, 1970, even 1980.
Oh,
you got a different mind. You were born. Anybody born like 85. Anybody was born like 80 and before, you got a different type of mind than anybody born after. Because you were born up with reasoning and mother wit. You know what I'm saying? And intuition. It wasn't just ones and zeros. See, that's digital thinking. 1 and 0, on and off. See, computer thinking is limiting for us. Remember, computers just digits 1 and 0, on and off.
Okay, now you kind of left me behind. I'm trying to.
There's no intuition with a computer. There's no rationalize.
But how does that get indoctrinated into children?
Because
from watching Teletubbies?
They use these things in schools. They grow up with video gaming. They are being taught to think like computers.
Okay, well,
we did not have that.
I have to see it more in a tactical fashion.
You can see it in a listen
technology has an aura
about
it.
You can see it by how they respond to things and how they deal with insecurity and fear.
Mm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
They are very much more unstable
Oh yeah.
because they're not as grounded in this reality.
That's true.
You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah.
They're not as grounded in this reality.
Mm-hmm.
Though this is a different reality for them.
Yeah,
than you are. You're experiencing a different reality than experience. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Anybody born in 1995, I mean, anybody born in 1992 think different from somebody born in 2002. That's how fast things are changing, how fast the mentality is changing.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And you see it when you have children, you'll see it. Like I have older children, and I'm seeing like, oh wow, he's brought about that, but look how he think. Look how this. Look how they ration, how they reason is different.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have to bear that in mind when we're dealing with children today, that they don't think like we think. Mm-hmm. All right. Our experience of having to use an outhouse or
I'm sorry, I skipped the outhouse
or having one TV in the whole house. You know
okay, I have one TV.
Have one TV in the whole house.
One too.
You know what I'm saying?
Black and
little
white.
things like, having to read encyclopedias for information.
Yes, right. You have to actually go to the library.
You got to go to the library.
Not to Wikipedia.
Or you got to read through books to get data. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Things like that are different. They don't have to do those things anymore.
Because it's tactile and it causes different growths in the brain.
That's why they always tell you to write things down. Because writing things down is different than typing it in a book.
You deep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's
I'm just saying, your mind works differently when you do tactile things, because now you're
that's
physically
gonna
cementing in your brain what you're doing.
That's going to awaken in your DNA different habits, tendencies.
You're using different neurons in your brain.
Wow. Literally. Whoa. Right? Okay.
Like I said, they never had to remember a phone number, a lot of them. Think about that. Never having to remember a phone number.
Right. I still remember my
because it's in their phone. They don't know their friends' phone numbers. They just press the button.
Wow.
All right. That's the dumbing down of society, which is on purpose.
It's already, they talk about that.
It's in full effect.
Yeah, that computer, where the human is integrated into the computer system.
Man-human interface. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I know that is.
Yeah. You're thinking like a computer, but you're not a computer.
Exactly. Right.
Computers can't do what you can do.
Yeah.
Computers are programmed.
Yes.
And you can be programmed, obviously, but you can also escape the algorithm. Right? You can escape the algorithm.
Can I go back to that?
Right?
I'm gonna go back to that.
I'm sorry, Mike. We meant to get back to you, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to Mike. But sorry. Yeah, this is way my king and I, Dr. Z, we always speak with each other because we just wind up going all over.
Yeah, you ain't got to get stuck in that. But my point is that computers don't make friends. Computers don't do things like that. All right. So all that cyborg shit they talking about, that's all nonsense. They can try it. It's an abject failure. Right. They can try it. Right. They can try to interface you with a computer. You think you're interfacing with your smartphone now. You can use a palm print to pay at Amazon or Whole Foods if you want to. You are not interfacing with a computer like that. All right. You are a real person. Right. Those things are artificial with no intelligence.
And that's they always say, oh, the AI is racist. Who programmed the damn AI?
Exactly. People program the computers. All right. They put the information they believe in the computer and the computer responds to it. Exactly. That's what all this Chat GPT and Google and all this stuff is about, controlling the expanse of information that you are able to get your hands on. Because that's how I limit you by controlling the amount of the information that you get. That's all it is. Right. All right. So Chat GPT is now, you ain't got to write a report now. You use Chat GPT and it parrots back whatever woke shit they talking about these days is what's going to come up. And that's going to be on your report. And that's going to be considered absolutely correct. Because anything outside wokeism is now going to be considered radical, crazy, conspiracy theory. No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But tune in tonight, 7 p.m.
Oh, are you closing it
go
up?
to the website.
I want to go to the chat room.
Okay, to the chat.
Yeah, and see what people are saying and say hi and bye and all the rest of that. There we go. Stop. And okay, good. It's on mute.
Pull up the chat. I was
Here we
ready to
go.
bounce on y'all.
I know you do. You come in and you just go. And I'm like, no.
How it's fitting to do the bounce, yo. Like, really.
Oh, there it is right up there. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Sister Gwenby. Appreciate that very, very much. And Brother General Mosquito, I haven't greeted you, so peace to you. And Brother Nano John, always good to see you, brother. And I think I got everybody
Peace.
on the first time. Oh, and yes, I did. So blessings. And thank you so much, Sister Lashid, for you. It's wonderful to see you, Queen. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, go watch go watch it. It's on Hulu.
You'll enjoy it.
You'll enjoy it. I thought it was worth watching. It's definitely worthwhile. There's a whole lot of junk. It's better than watching. It's better than Dahmer. It's better than what else? Most of that stuff on it is just trash.
I don't watch any of it anymore.
That's mostly just trash.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
why I'm like, I gotta write my own book.
There was some issues I had with it.
But the stuff is crap. Yeah. It's everything out there when it comes to Black us. It's usually their interpretation of who we are, which is not going to work for us. It's not going to free us mentally. And that's the first freedom you have to gain. Because then I'm always like, we've already won. Because as soon as we are enough for each other, then we're not going to want anything that these guys produce. And everything they produce is based on lies. So it's so easy to step away and say, hey, I want, stuff that's produced by people who actually like me. How in the world do you not deserve to be loved?
You can't have that until you recognize that you are different. That we're not all the same.
Right.
All right? As long as you think we're all the same, you think what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and that's not true. All right? We got different needs. The melanated, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The melanated, the real melanated, the EU melanin is different than the faux melanin. Right. I don't call it faux, it's called faux. It's faux melanin, fake melanin. Fake melanin. All right? All right? So it's different. You got different needs. All right?
Which reminds me of Sister Jai Africa had asked about what is in your relax formula on 25,000 Year Cycle website. Each formula Dr. Z puts together is a construction where he's working with what's going on in your body. It's not just, there aren't like shells filled with 50 or 100 bottles of each formula. He puts it together based on your needs, based on your history. So if
you have a consultation, I can do that.
Oh, okay.
All right. I just didn't do that automatically. I know, listen to me. I know the nutrition needed to make things work a certain way, ideally, but everybody's different. Right. I don't know what nutritional deficits you have. All right. So a lot of people just go and order stuff. When I'm like, bro, you need to pull up for a consultation while they free, because them shit's gonna be $100 soon.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, you better pull up for a consultation while they free. So we can walk through this step by step. So maybe there's something different you might need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because what I'm looking at and what you're looking at can be two different things. All right.
Very true.
And like you just can't go to the supermarket, or you just can't go to, I don't know, Foot Locker and buy whatever shoe they got. You got to get the shoe that fits you.
Yes.
Right?
I know that as a runner.
Yeah.
I had to get a special shoe.
Like I said, so we have these things. These are quote unquote generic, but they're geared towards our biochemistry and genetics.
Right.
So they will be successful at things. But if there's something else going on with you, like you're having IBS, all right, or you're not eating properly, or you're overweight and you're still eating trash, and you don't want to give up the milk and the cheese and the dairy, you can go to the best doctor in the world. You're still going to be sick.
Right.
All right. Because to get something, you're going to have to give something up. I tell you all the time, it don't work like that. If you want to get health, you're going to have to give something up. All right. So you want to get healthy? What you going to give up? What sacrifices are you willing to make?
Yeah, that's true.
That's all this is about. Life is about sacrifices to get what you want out of it. All right. And I know we're dealing with a lot of cravings and urges and things like that, but those can be overcome too if we take a real precise or planned, structured look at what you're doing and how to eliminate or replace the negative things in your diet. That's why you go to the website. I got the food list right there. Go to the blog, read the food list, what to eat, what not to eat. Start there. All right.
That's all there.
Start there.
Oh, did I close it? No, I didn't.
But we're dedicated. Our formulas are dedicated to healing. All right. But you have to help us by staying out of McDonald's. Stop eating fried chicken. You know what I'm saying?
And as you see here, both Dr. Z and I are vegans, but at the same time, we work with people, and he's the one who's going to be able to go over your health so that you can get healed. But we understand. So what meats can you eat?
I don't even call it vegan no more, because that's been so misappropriated and destroyed. Yeah. We're trying to eat to live. All right? All right? For sustenance and preservation, not for destruction. That's what we're trying to do. All right?
And foods we should eat, which is, I've reached a point now where I'm, like, I'm comfortable in my body. I'm the smallest I've ever been, but I've reached a level I never thought I would, where I am satisfied. I am satiated with exactly what I'm eating. I'm not on anybody's diet because I've just become comfortable with what I should be eating, with the level of exercise that my body requires in order to stay healthy and strong. And so I never thought I'd reach that point. I'd always thought I'd be the starving fat girl who was always like, oh, I'm going to have to force myself not to eat another donut. I don't force myself not to eat. If I want to eat a donut, I'll eat a donut, but I don't want to. And that's such an amazing difference. I only want the healthy food now. That's extraordinary. Yeah.
Of course, you learn to love yourself. Anybody love themselves don't want to eat things that are destructive to themselves. That's really what it comes down to.
Right.
It's about love for self and self-respect. That's really what it comes down to. If you think having a little poison is good for you, that shows you where you're at.
That's true.
I need a little poisonous food so I can feel normal.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, that's not how it's supposed to be. We have to grow up.
Yeah.
You got to grow up.
Yeah.
Maturity is the key. Just like Mike Tyson is growing and evolving, your ass supposed to be growing and evolving too.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, how difficult was that for him?
I'm sure it's hella difficult. I'm sure it's hella difficult.
Right.
I mean, not that you really see it as difficult when you're doing it. It's just that you're just making choices. You're just making better choices. But Mike went through a lot of therapy. Mike been through a whole lot of stuff, man. He's been on there. Come on now. Don't keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He really
you bite niggas' ears off. They putting you in. Bro. You need to talk to somebody before you come do this. Again.
Yeah, right.
You need to talk to somebody before you come back in this ring. So they would probe his ass inside and out. Know what I mean?
Right.
So, hey.
All right.
Yo, let me bounce. Like I said, tonight, 7:00. Side pull up. We're gonna talk about this cannabis. CBD, different methodologies, healing cancer.
What time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Stress, anxiety, epilepsy. They're using it for epilepsy.
Wow. Okay.
They're using it for what else are we using it for? Like I said, cancer, appetite.
Tell it then.
No, it's all type of stuff going on.
Okay. And it's free. The Zoom class is free.
Yeah. Pull up.
So yeah, we'll see you there.
Pull up.
Love you, everybody, so
Peace.
very much. Peace.